Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for all you do to support the channel, and we are commanded to love one another whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, this is Hulk Hogan, a former WWE wrestling champion, and that is what he is known for being a wrestling champion. That's what he's known for to the public. But to black people, he is known for something else, and that is using the N word and admitting that he's a racist. So he recently died, and black people have been very open and I think honest about how they felt about him in life and that it didn't change in death. So is it wrong for black people to speak their truth about him? Some people expressed their condolences to his family, the ones who were wrestling fans. There are others who were wrestling fans and acknowledged him as a good wrestler, but also had a problem with him being a racist. Well, some just came straight out and said they didn't feel any differently about him in death than they did in life, and they were not going to wish him a peaceful rest. And those are the videos I'm going to let you listen to.
Get you some room in your living room and go ahead and get them slippery socks so you can slide up on the floor, slide up on the floor, slide up on the floor, slide up on the everybody.
So he kicked it off with a praise dance.
With Hulk Hogan passing away as a wrestling fan, is heartbreaking. You feel me? Because as a purist wrestling fan, bro, and like knowing just how impactful and how much he meant to the profession and how instrumental he was for the rise of pro wrestling as we know it, bro, from the 80s to now, man, it's like, wow, bro, literally like a legend is gone. But as a black man, Hulk Hogan was racist as fuck. Like, I can't ignore that. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, I'm not the type of nigga to just come out and just like celebrate when people die, just because I don't like them or, they did something I don't like or, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not the type of person I am. You feel me? But it's like, damn, it's kind of hard to, I don't want to say it's hard for me to feel bad, but it's like, it's a weird feeling, man. Because as a black man, you feel me, knowing how he felt about my people, it's like, damn. All right, but like as a wrestling fan, it's like, damn, that's fucking Hulk Hogan, And I was talking to a buddy of mine, Prudencio. Shout out to Prudencio, man, super huge wrestling fan, and he broke it down perfectly, man. He said, Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, a legend. He'll be sorely missed. Terry Bollea, the person, racist as fuck. Fuck him.
Well, that was interesting. He started out like he was going to be open-minded and fair, but he ended up crashing out.
So Hulk Hogan is dead, and I better not see no black people on here mourning him, okay? Don't get me wrong, he's a very accomplished performer, right? Like, he's very good at pretending to fight people, right? But a lot of people don't know he has a very bigoted history, especially towards black people. Number one, he's a Trump supporter, right? I mean, and look, that's not everything, right? But just the fact, especially with what's going on right now, I feel like that by itself is such an emblem of the kind of person that you are. But that's not why I'm saying this. A lot of people don't know that back about 10, 15 years ago, I was in middle school, he had a tape leak. And seeing Hulk's little Hogan is traumatic enough. But the really interesting stuff is what he was saying to his affair partner, which was like his homie's wife. And basically, he's talking about how his wife is seeing black men, right? But oh my God, he doesn't call them black men. He doesn't call them that. He calls them a different word that starts with an N. So if you are black, he was no fan of yours, okay? And you really don't even have to like be torn up about it, in my opinion, because he's not even beloved by the fans anymore. Like, I went on the WWE subreddit and people are making jokes and stuff. 71 years, it was a good run. Go more Ozzy.
It isn't speaking ill of the dead when it's the truth. I am not of the belief that death absolves you of what you've said or done when you were alive. Don't speak ill of the dead is a Latin phrase, meaning don't talk ill of someone that's not here to defend themselves. And again, I don't think the truth is speaking ill of somebody, because if we don't talk about these things or say the things that were done, then history gets revised. Literally see it happening now. We don't focus on the bad, we focus on the good that the person did. But both things can be true. Hulk Hogan was put in a position to take wrestling to new heights. Harry Bolela says some real racist shit. Both things can be true, and I don't think there's a separation of church and state. But if you can separate that, that's cool. That's your own thing. It is, however, interesting to see the folks that say, oh, well, he did his time. No, he didn't. He didn't do any time for this. He didn't speak out against this. Did an apology tour a bit. He faced no real repercussion aside from just falling out of the public's favor. Going away out of the public eye isn't paying the price. That's the consequence. The other interesting thing to see is folks that are saying, well, he said something stupid so long ago. Saying something racist is stupid, but it's also intention, because you meant that shit. You'll always see the folks that want to excuse that so quickly so that they can have this memory of Hulk Hogan a certain way, like the way they grew up. They don't want that bad to take the good, but also he had black fans as well. We were more of a Macho Man Randy Savage household, but regardless, it's very telling which fans can excuse the racism and which fans don't.
Now, black folk, how y'all feel about Hulk Hogan dying? For me, I'm torn, because it's like, this was my hero growing up. Like, every Saturday, I would put this TV on and watch WWE and look for Hulk Hogan. And then come to find out, a few years back, he don't like us. So I'm kind of torn, because I feel like I want to feel bad, but then it's like, why am I feeling bad for somebody who don't like me just because the way that I look? So black folk, let me know if you're in the same boat or you just don't care.
All right, yesterday on the Shade Room and even on my radio show, I had to report that Hulk Hogan died. Now, Hulk Hogan was a huge part of my childhood. That's right, the Hulkster's in the building, tearing the shirt off, coming down. Yeah, the Hulkster stand. The Hulkster was a part of my childhood. Then, as you got older and Hulk Hogan left wrestling, he started talking. And in '07, a racist ass tirade came out when he was talking about, just black people and his daughter dating a black man. And that made most black kids like myself be like, you know what? Hulk Hogan. Yeah. And we basically was like, nah, we good on you, bro. We good on you. So when he passed away, you feel bad if anybody dies, but then you were confused because you didn't want to say anything bad, and he didn't know how to say anything good because he was a raving racist. Crazy work, man. It tell you, man, life is so full of twists and turns. And that Hulk Hogan death, man, even though I want to be like, oh man, Hulk Hogan, but then after he said the racist stuff, like most black people, we were like,
oh no, Hulk Hogan died. Anyway, they were saying that, the streets were saying that apparently the day that those tapes came out and him being racist happened today. He died on the anniversary of them things coming out. Look at God. Now, I thought I was going to have to be nervous about, because I said that it come in threes, but then y'all was talking about some other person that was famous that I didn't even know who. Okay, I didn't even know who the hell that was that died, or whatever, but I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Somebody else is a celebrity too, also died, I think, as well today. But then they said Hulk Hogan, and I said, oh, well, that ain't no problem. That ain't no problem at all. Like, don't give a fuck. I'm sure. Did his family even like him? They say he was surrounded by family. I didn't know they liked him like that, but then that means they probably racist too. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Oh well.
And nobody that's black should be saying rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. I don't care how much of a wrestling fan you are. I'm a wrestling fan too. But he said what he said. Let's throw some on the grill.
So this is what they're saying. They're expressing how they really feel. I only have a passing knowledge of Hulk Hogan. I was never interested in wrestling. In my family, there was a big argument about whether or not it was real or whether or not it was staged. And I don't think we ever came to a conclusion, because any evidence that you give people who want to believe that it's real, that it's staged, they're not going to believe it. I never got into it because I never cared about wrestling. But as far as Hulk Hogan, and even with Hulk Hogan, I never formed an opinion about him. It never surprises me when a white person is a racist. So I would not allow myself to be stunned or surprised by anything any white person said, or it came out that they were racist, because it's very hard to surprise me when it comes to stuff like that. So anyway, let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's wrong for these young people to be speaking their truth about how they feel, or should they just keep that to themselves? Let me know. Thank you for listening. Have a good evening.